Hey, I'm Zupercat, and I know everyone's pretty excited to gear up for Uldir, and with that comes a whole lot of questions about gear. For my character, let's see, I want to know of all the gear I own, and it's a lot, what are the best items to equip? I want to know what stats I should focus on, what are my best azurite powers, and of course I want to know how to spend my bonus rolls this week, that's a big one, and the list doesn't stop there. Now, this is where Ask Mr. Robot comes in, which can answer all of these questions. Now, some of the tools are free and some are premium, but in order to get everyone optimally geared and reduce some stress levels here, we're making all of the premium features free for the first few days of Uldir. Let's start with Best in Bags. This tool finds the best gear out of everything that you already own. It evaluates all of the gear combinations possible, and then it finds the best set in about a second. Now, you might be wondering how we do this so fast. Well, we sim all of the necessary gear, talent, azurite, and trinket combinations for each spec ahead of time, and we do this across thousands of computers in order to make it feasible. Then we analyze and store the data. So when you want to find the best set, all we have to do is look up the simulation data that matches your character, talents, and your current gear. And that means you don't have to sim it because we've already simmed it for you. So to use Best in Bags, I open the Ask Mr. Robot add-on, which can see all of the gear that I own. And then I just copy this text string here and I paste it into the site. Next, I choose a few options on the setup screen. And if you're worried about saving gold, use this section here in the middle and choose cheap gems and enchants and play with the thresholds. That'll really help you. Once I get my Best in Bags, I can see that the gear changes are highlighted, as are the gem, enchant, and azurite power suggestions. There's one thing I wanted to point out about azurite power suggestions. So they're restricted to your Heart of Azeroth level. That means if your necklace is level 17, for example, only powers unlocked at level 17 or earlier will be suggested. So this might mean that a lower level item is better than a higher level one if it has more powers unlocked, and Best in Bags figures this out for you automatically. And now the last thing I want to do with these results is export it to the add-on. So I just grab this text string and paste it into the Import tab in the add-on. Then I can see the recommended gear, and then I can click to automatically equip it. Alright, now I know a lot of people like to plan out their upgrades, myself included, so I recommend using the upgrade finder for this because it ranks gear according to the activities that you plan to do that week. And of course, these rankings are also based on simulations that we've already done for you. The first thing I want to plan out this week are my bonus rolls. So my team will be doing normal Uldir, and if I pretend everyone farmed gear including myself and our item levels are high enough, I'd plan to kill the first few heroic bosses too, so let's set it up like that to see the results. Alright, so here we have a ranked list for my bonus rolls this week, and it can be sorted by the boss with the biggest upgrade, the highest chance of getting an upgrade, or a weighted average. And then, of course, I want to expand any of these bosses so that I can see the actual upgrades and how big they are. So another thing I like to look at are all of the items that I can get in Uldir without being grouped by boss like these bonus rolls are. So I just go back here and set up the raid function. I like this view because of the search functionality. I can search by slot if I want to replace a particularly low item level piece of gear. I can search for azurite items or items with a particular azurite trait. Or maybe I want to search for items with a specific stat or any combinations of these things. It's quite helpful. And I also use this a lot during raids. So if a friend gets an item that they're willing to trade, I just search for the name, see if it's an upgrade, and then that answers that. The other main activity that I'll be doing for a while is to continue to gear up outside of the raid. And I like running dungeons, so I would probably set up the regular dungeon search as well as the Mythic Plus one now that they're opening this week. The Best in Bags feature and the upgrade finder that I reviewed are premium, but they're free for the first few days when Uldir opens. And if you like it enough to upgrade later, it's just $12 a year or $2 if you want to pay monthly. There are also several free tools in Ask Mr. Robot to help you with rating. So the Gear Check tool optimizes your gems, enchants, and azurite powers. And if you click on an azurite power, you'll see rankings which update as you get different gear, talents, or change anything about your character. The stat analysis section tells you what stats to focus on. And if you want to dig into the details of all the simulation data that we have, you can view them here on this graph. That's it. Thanks for listening to my speed talking. I hope you have fun in Uldir this week. And if you have any questions or need help related to these gear optimization tools, just stop by our forums. We'll be watching them pretty closely so that we can make sure everyone gets the help that they need to gear up for Uldir.